But I want to start off by speaking about three things that are really close and dear to my heart: sex, love, and truth. These for me are topics that are so essential for us to address at these times. And I want to go through each one because I feel that all of us in our society nowadays have a misunderstanding of sex, a misunderstanding of love, and a misunderstanding of what truth really is, what it means, and what does it mean to be an embodiment of all three? What does it mean to embody sex, to embody love, and to embody truth? So let's start with sex. For those of you that follow the work that I do, you know that that's a big topic that I cover consistently. Why am I doing that? Am I doing that because, hang on one second, oops. Am I doing that because I want to make sure everybody's having a great sex life and you're all having pleasure? To be honest, not really, not at all. The reason why I'm talking about sex is because sex is our greatest tool for humanity to empower ourselves as the divine beings that we are. It is so much more than pleasure. Pleasure is a byproduct of sex. It's not the end all. It is a fraction of what the gift of sex provides for humanity when we understand sex in its nature. And why am I saying it like that? We are so deeply programmed with Hollywood. We are so deeply programmed with porn that we have forgotten what it means to be loving, energetic in the way that we interact with other humans. So let's look at that for a moment. We are passing through a very interesting time right now, globally. And when I say globally, it's amazing that somehow, some way, for many people, a belief system has been created during this quarantine time. And this belief system has been created due to what we are being told outside of our own investigation and truth. I think that for many of us, what is going on globally does not make sense. When we listen to scientists, yes, when we follow the science, when we follow the doctors, when we follow the statistics, which most of us don't follow because we end up following the media. I'm not talking about the media. I'm talking about following the science, the statistics, the researchers, and all those people that actually dedicate their life to being of service to humanity. When we follow those people's information, we realize that what's going on here doesn't make sense. Now, I'm seeing within our communities that a lot of people have bought into what the media is selling to us. And what that brings up to me is sex. Why? Sex is how we generate energy in the body. When we generate a lot of energy in the body through energetic lovemaking, we literally become more intelligent human beings. Why? As energy builds up in the body, it starts to move up in the higher centers. It starts to actually activate our higher capacity. Higher capacities, our third eye, our crown chakra, our divine energy of being able to perceive truth. Most of us have been so shut down, and the way that we have sex leaks and wastes so much energy that for me it's also very clear to why so many people have a difficult time discerning truth and lies, especially at a time that is so important to activate that capacity. So for me, the topic of sex is so dear to my heart because when we understand sex and we become sexually liberated beings, we become the embodiment of love and truth. We become that which is divine spirit, and our divine spirit is made out of nothing else other than love and truth. And our disconnect from our sex creates a disconnect from this divine energy that pulses through us, that is our sexual energy, that is this aliveness that moves through the body, the creativity that gives us the opportunity to bring life to this planet. Think about how powerful we are. Really, just connect to the beauty of what it means to be human for a moment. And you know, it's interesting because during this quarantine time, you know, I keep putting it in quotes because I have a hard time calling it quarantine. Quarantine is something that happens when an individual's sick. We take sick people and we quarantine them. When you take healthy people and you put them to the side and say they can't do anything, that's not quarantine. That's taking away our human rights. So when we look at this quarantine, so many people are having challenges and so many fears are coming up. Divine beings, let me ask you this question, please. Reflect on, what is fear? Where did this come from? Why do we fear so much? And what do we really fear? Really? Because when I take people and start questioning all of these things that they're all the time spouting, right? Because I'm doing a lot of sessions, I'm doing a lot of private sessions during this quarantine time. And what I hear all the time is people saying, I'm so scared of ... I have so much fear of ... It's not natural for humans to live in fear. It's natural for humans to live in love. Love and fear cannot live in the same place together. Getting distracted here by your guys' comments here. Fear is the absence of love. Absolutely. You can't, when you resonate with love, when you bring love into your beautiful beingness, into your awareness, fear no longer exists. So again, coming back to reality. Why do we fear so much? Where do we get those ideas from? Think about how much information, propaganda, lies, and deception you take into your psyche through the music that you listen to, through the movies that you watch, through the TV shows that you visit, through the porn that you watch, through the news that you watch. How much fear propaganda do you take into your subconscious on a regular basis and think that it means nothing? And how much of it is being expressed out on your day-to-day, where humanity, these divine, powerful beings, now live in a state of fear as something normal? We most of the time fear what I call the boogie monster. Remember the monster that sits under the bed? The one that doesn't exist? And what do parents have to do when a child is scared of the monster that sits under the bed? I wish you could all talk to me through this video. The parent has to take the child by the hand and say, look under the bed. Do you see anybody there? Face your fears. Stop being scared of so many things. Think about fear of rejection. What are you scared of? Are you going to die? No. Fear of not being good enough. What does that even mean? Good enough for what? Go look in the mirror. Go look at your eyes. Look into the depth of your soul. Look at that divine energy that looks back at you. And tell me that that divine spirit, that creativity, that power that is looking back at you can be so-called not good enough. But you take sex away from people, you disempower them with that sex, you manipulate their sex, you make sex be violent, unloving, friction-oriented, which lacks energetic connection. You cripple humanity. And then you expect them to not be sheep? At a time when it's most important to engage our divine intelligence, to realize how powerful we are, and to realize, and this is moving on to our next topic, love is the answer to everything. Love is the energy. that makes all pain go away. And I'm not talking about fake love. I'm not talking about pretending to be sweet when something inside of you says no to something. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about loving this divinity that lives inside of you and being in alignment and of service to your divine spirit. That's love. But we undermine ourselves. We compromise ourselves all the time. Again, what happened to love? We watch these so-called romantic movies when all they show is couples fighting each other, betrayal, being in conflict, and we think that's normal. And unconsciously and sometimes consciously, we start to act out all of that in our own day-to-day life. That's not human. That is not what being an alive, loving, compassionate human being means. And something other than being loving and compassionate and orgasmic and joyful is not human. Now, I'm not saying that we can't feel things. We can feel anger, we can feel frustration. Those are all beautiful feelings and qualities. You know why a lot of people judge their anger? Anger is a beautiful quality. Anger is creative until it's repressed. What do I mean by that? We go to a job that we don't like. We're pissed off all day. We don't take it out on our boss. We don't take it out at the job. We get home, and that suppressed anger, we take it out on our family, on our partner, on our friends, on the people close to us. But that anger at work is there for a reason. It's a red flag to tell you that something there is out of alignment for you. When you feel that anger come up, you're not supposed to suppress it. You're supposed to say, thank you, life, for giving me the capacity to feel deeply and use the knowledge of my emotional body to say, you know what? This is not for me. Now, it may not be my job. Maybe I can still work there, but maybe I don't need to do it in this type of way. Maybe I don't need to work the hours that I'm being told to work. How do I start loving and respecting myself? We are a culture of people that don't respect themselves. And what I see often is people being very much out of integrity in their actions and interactions with people. And what that shows me is a lack of respect for themselves. Because people that don't have self-respect do things out of bad character. So how do you start nurturing the spirit? How do you wake up every day? You know, one of the questions, and I was going to go through the questions, but one of the questions that someone asked me is, what is your greatest practice? Give us a practice. I don't have a practice. I don't sit in the corner of my room in a lotus position and meditate and then be crazy for the rest of the 23 hours of the day. I spend my whole day looking at, feeling, expressing, observing that I am in alignment with what this godliness that lives inside of me desires. Can I, at the end of the day, look in the mirror and look at the person, look at the eyes, look at the spirit looking back at me and go, you're a good person? Am I doing things that benefit the people around me, that benefit humanity? Am I the problem or am I the solution? Every day. How do you spend your time, even during this quarantine time? What a beautiful opportunity right now that everybody gets to self-reflect on so many things. You get to self-reflect about what you give your energy to. How you spend your time, how you spend your money, how you value your relationships. I had read an article saying that in the UK, the domestic violence rates have doubled. Because of things that people don't acknowledge day to day. They don't clean house. They don't bring harmony. They suppress and suppress and suppress. And then things explode. We as humans are not meant to carry so much garbage. We are to be love embodied in divinity. Free. And when I say free, I'm not talking about the fact that I don't go to work and I don't be of service and I don't show up on time to do this Instagram live. That's not it. I'm free to think and feel as I am. And most of us don't think and feel freely. Our feelings are so polluted with so much garbage, so much unprocessed feelings, the trauma, the memories, the false belief systems. We are so full, we don't have access to what it means to be ourselves in our nature. And we don't think freely because we're all the time scared about what someone else is going to think. So many people being quiet. I've had so many people reach out to me thanking me for having a loud voice, having the courage to have the loud voice during these times. I don't have courage to have a loud voice. I just have a voice and I am free to use it. And that's a beautiful thing. And if any of you are familiar with the work that I do, I'm always telling everybody, you have got to claim your voice. You have been shut down since day one. Everybody's scared to speak out. Everybody's scared to have an opinion. I don't even care if your opinion is right or wrong. At least exercise your capacity to have an opinion and voice it. Because us being quiet is what keeps things looking insane on this planet. So love is the answer. And we can see many things in the news. There's this goes so deep. For those of you that are interested, there's a compilation of different types of information that I've put up on my website, which you're welcome to check out, SashaCobra.com. You can get to it through my Instagram profile as well, at SashaCobra. You'll find information, but start looking. Start expanding your awareness. Everybody talks about how the governments lie to us. Everybody talks about how the media lies to us. Why do you think this period in our life is an exception to that rule? And there's so many things to discover. There's so many things to dissect. There's so many things to educate yourself on. Isn't it amazing that we have this powerful awareness? This intelligence, this ability to have mental and emotional and bodily capacity to take information in and feel through it and navigate and know what truth feels like. Oh my God, wow. Wow. And then with all of that, we have the capacity to love and have compassion. Oh my God, are we just the most amazing things on the planet? Really. Humans are incredible. And then ask yourself, what have I been doing during this quarantine? How do I spend my time? Am I watching Netflix all day? Am I smoking weed all day? Am I trying to make this time pass as soon as possible because I don't know how to sit with myself? You better get to know yourself very quick. And most of us are scared to sit with ourselves because we think that what we're going to find is something horrible. Let me tell you, sweetheart, what you're going to discover is amazingness in a package of you. But you have to give yourself the opportunity to even see, experience, and feel that. Something's going on with my lighting. So truth. Sex, love, truth. Truth is a deep one. Let me say this. Love is truth. Untruthful love is bogus. It's not love. It's something fake. That's what most people do. They pretend. They pretend with their partners. They pretend with their family. They pretend with their friends. Untruthful love is fake. Be real. When you are truthful, you are love. And when you are love, you are truthful. So when it comes to truth, give yourself a voice. Look outside of what you are given. Start engaging that intelligence. Look beyond what you know. Life is infinite, infinite possibilities. And again, like I said, Get your sex straight. Get your sex straight. And what do I mean by that? If you're insecure in sex, ladies, you are tripping about how you look, whether he likes you, if you can do that magic trick that you saw in a porn. If you're still doing that, you're gonna miss the whole point. You better start getting natural when it comes to sex. And I know women are masturbating out there, so this isn't just to talk about men, but men, the amount of time that I have heard that so many men are spending this quarantine just jacking off watching porn. Come on, y'all. You need to have real human interactions. This technological game that we're playing, it's definitely connecting us. I am so grateful to have the opportunity to speak to all of you right now. For that, I'm very grateful. But I'm also grateful for the fact that when this is over, I can turn the phone off and I can embrace a real human being. And we're coming into an age where everything is done virtually. And we have forgotten how to even make a phone call. We get scared if someone calls us because our social skills are so strange these days. Just to even pick up the phone and say, hey, I don't really feel like talking right now. I'll call you back later. Can we all do that? Can we be naked in the presence of another human being without tripping about it? Can we touch another human being and actually have the capacity to have our awareness so relaxed in our bodies that we can actually feel the other and feel ourselves? This is one of the greatest challenges on the planet these days when it comes to sex. People don't know how to be in their bodies. And this is a problem for both men and women. However, sometimes we think that men got it all just because they feel a little bit of friction on their penis and they ejaculate. We think that that's working out for them, even though it's not. But for women, ladies, you know you need something else. Orgasmiclessness is epidemic, not COVID-19. And the reason why is because we don't know how to be in our bodies to feel and bring energy to it. And this is true for the women, but for the men, where is your energy going? What do you give your life force to when it comes to sex? How much do you fantasize? How much do you live in fantasy? How much do you give energy to images that you see on a computer screen, thinking that that emptiness is going to fill you, touch your heart deeply, awaken your soul, make you feel empowered? I mean, really, tell me. Do you feel empowered after masturbating to porn? You might feel a relief. You might feel more relaxed, which is not relaxation, it's actually exhaustion. But do you feel empowered? Because let me tell you, there's nothing like you bringing your powerful, loving energy to a woman sexually and have her reflect back to you your immense power in the orgasmicness that she creates. That's power. That will touch you deeply. That will make you walk like a king in the world. You sitting in front of a computer screen is only going to make you feel smaller and smaller and smaller every day. And this isn't just for the men. Ladies, what do you spend your time on? Most of us spend, as far as women goes, you know, one of the questions that one of the women asked me that she sent in is, how can we enjoy ourselves as women? Women, ladies, oh my God, our bodies are luscious. Our bodies are an embodiment of pleasure. And I know you probably disagree with me. I understand. That is not our experience. It's not our experience because since the day we're born, we are told that we don't look right in so many different ways. The media all the time tells us that we can't be natural. We have to look a certain kind of way, be a certain kind of way. How can you possibly enjoy your body if you have taken in all this bombardment? And trust me, ladies, I am with you. The only difference between me and most people is that I can see the insanity of it, so I'm all the time digging as much as I can to let go of that conditioning because I know it's insane. I know it's insane that I have days when I judge how I look, but it's there. And our awareness and our capacity to love on those places. And I'm saying love your body parts. You know, if you ever catch yourself, well, I don't like my stretch marks, you better put your gentle, loving hands on those stretch marks and start speaking sweet nothings to them. Start loving your body because your body is your greatest friend. And it's not going to love you back if you're hating on it every day. So, lovely people, let me get to some of your questions. John asked me the question. How do you handle bluntness and speaking what needs to be said? When is bluntness a good and not such a good thing? I find being honest and speaking what everyone is unwilling to say is almost a superpower these days and very much needed. Yet some people don't seem to appreciate it. Well, here's the thing. Imposing your beliefs on others is a violent act. So it's not about being blunt, it's about speaking your truth. But your truth is spoken out of your own expression and sharing. It's never to try to change someone's mind or force them to think like you. So when you speak from a place of love, John, and I know you, John, I personally know who you are, you've got to develop more gentleness with yourself. And when you do, your truth will be sharp, but loving. And that's when bluntness works. All right, next question. I've been going through a lot of trauma lately and being with my pain. I'm shifting me and I feel an incredible power, but sometimes it's really challenging. I wanted to know how you found the inner capacity to be with pain without trying to numb it when it gets too much. Well, sweetheart, Surya, for me it's not the inner capacity to be with pain, rather than trying to numb it. It's that it's more painful being numb than being alive. I so much love being an alive human that the option of being numb is not an option. So therefore, I get to be with whatever I feel. And the other thing that we have to recognize is that we label things as pain way too often. What I mean is, we feel sadness and we go, it's too painful. Sadness is beautiful. We feel anger and we go, it's too painful. No, sweetheart, your resistance is painful. Resisting things doesn't feel good. Surrendering to your feelings can be orgasmic because surrender in itself is orgasmic. So let all that intensity, let it course through your veins, and you will feel alive and empowered. Emotions and feelings are so powerful. And we're scared of power. This isn't about being scared of pain. We're scared of power. But what do you mean? What is that? We chase after power. We all want to feel good, and it's just right there, all the time available to us. Next question. What do you do every day to stay spiritually connected? And what does everyday spiritual connection look like? Is it just being aware of emotional energy? If so, then our more, quote, evolved, or you might call them more alive people, intensely emotional on a regular basis, even without a crisis. There's a big difference between feeling and emotion. When people are emotionally intense, it's usually because they're holding a lot of held back emotions still. And I'm saying still because some of you may be on a path of starting to open that up, let some of those emotions go, and yet still things are coming up. You've got a lifetime of stuff to unpack. Enjoy the adventure and the journey. So it's not about being emotionally intense, it's just about being sensitive. Being sensitive is one of the most beautiful gifts of what it means to be human. It means that when you are touched by beauty, you are touched by beauty. And yes, it means that if something moves you and something feels sad, you get sad, but guess what? We have the capacity to transmute anything lower to the higher through our power of love, through our acceptance. What does it mean to love, right? What does it mean to transform something through love? It means that if I feel sad, I let myself feel sad, and I stay present with myself through that sadness until that sadness, in quite a quick pace, transforms into something sweet, because that is the nature of love. And Karen, sweetheart, you asked me, what do I do to stay spiritually connected? Not much. But like I said, what I do is make sure that all day, every day, everything that I'm doing is in alignment with what the desire of the godliness in me wants. It's not about me. It's not about Sasha. It's about Sasha serving deeply and worshiping deeply the beautiful spirit that resides inside. And sometimes Sasha wants to do things that spirit doesn't want. So how can I let go of Sasha and keep serving this divine spirit? Because when I do, life gets more and more beautiful and more abundant. A really great practice for people is literally ask yourself every day, what do I want? Quarantine time is a great time for this. Ask yourself, what do I want? Do I want to be at that job? Do I want to be in this relationship? Maybe I want to be in the relationship, but do I want us to communicate the way that we do? Do I want to have the quality of sex that I'm having? Do I really want to feed myself the way that I do? Physically, through certain foods, mentally, through what I take into my psyche. What do I want for my life? Really think about that and make sure that your life is a reflection of those desires. Air Force 86. You ask, how do you practice and what's your routine? I kind of shared that. I don't have a routine. What is my favorite practice? Thinking that I'm awesome. And, I'm kind of kidding and I'm kind of not. What I mean is that know that you're a good human. Just know that you're a good human. And maybe you do some things that are not so good, but that doesn't mean that you're not a good human. And if you do some things that are not so great and not so kind and not so loving, start to alleviate and clean that up. But know that you have good intentions. Because when you know that you're good, you have such a deep trust for yourself. And there is no better practice than trusting oneself. And, same person, what's great for beginners for a male? Now, this is a great question, and I want to address it because I feel that it's a great practice for so many men. We are at a time in this reality, what we call this epoca, where now more than ever, men are completely disconnected energetically from their positive pole genital area. So like I said, they're masturbating, they're using their penis, they're having sex, they're using it. But for them to actually feel that part of the body is a challenge for so many men. So a really great practice for a man is to not masturbate, but to give himself what would be like a very slow, sensual, slow massage some squeezing, little gentle squeezes, very gentle, slow movement on the penis. Get yourself reacquainted with feeling your body rather than mentalizing about your arousal. Because I always say this to women, I have never met a man that doesn't want to be the world's greatest lover. They all want to be great lovers. But if you want to be the world's greatest lover, you need to learn how to be in your penis, how to feel your penis, how to love your penis. And so many men, when they get to feeling that part of the body, what comes out is the stored feelings and beliefs and conditioning they have there, which is oftentimes shame and guilt, and even sometimes the abuse they've experienced through too much friction, through sex, sometimes through oral sex that they've received. But they need to connect to that part of the body. And why? Again, for me, the whole sex thing is about empowering humanity. We want to empower our men. Men, we need you. We need you to be the warriors of love and truth. The ones who have the spark and the charisma and the oomph to stand by truth, to be a protector on this planet. And how do you do that when you've been crippled? Your mothers have crippled you, babied you, told you what to do all day, every day. How do you grow up to be your own independent man, your own authority for your life? Don't make yourself small, empower yourself. And that beautiful, amazing, powerful, delicious part of your body that we would call the genitals, that penis, the love wand that you have, is a tool for healing, for loving, and for empowering you, because the energy that is manifested and created in that part of the body, that generates in that part of the body, will bring the man into you so strong. The healthy man. I'm not talking about what we've seen historically as far as politicians and dictators and rapes and abuse that we've experienced. That has nothing to do with masculine energy in its healthy state. We need to see more healthy men on this planet. And when you start to connect energetically to that part of the body, your confidence, your self-worth, your ability to initiate, to lead, all of that will come so naturally to you. And it will be merged with your love, because your love also resides in your genitals. There's so many men out there that are scared of their genitals because they don't want to be the abuser and they want to be the lover. So they're always trying to come from the heart. You need to come from your genitals. Not from up here. Because most men use their mind. They force their genitals to do things with their mind. And the mind is a tricky enemy. But the wisdom of the body and the intelligence of the body is amazing and loving and compassionate, and it will bring more beauty into this world. So use your genitals beautifully by yourself and with others. Pepe, I'm glad you always come from your genitals. All right, next question. Let me see what time it is. Okay. Your view on relationships. What is the real deal beyond the romantic ideas we were programmed with? Well, everything in life, everything, is set up to make you grow and expand spiritually, for you to encounter your divinity. So for me, relationships are like the bait to make us grow. We all want connection. We all want beauty. And relationships is the perfect playground and environment to reveal to us all of our hidden places that need to be transmuted into love. So all of our insecurities, all of our feeling like we're not good enough, all of these things that come up in relationships are really gifts. Now, when we have all these romantic ideas, we oftentimes want the fantasy. We pretend to be in the fantasy. We realize it's not, because we have two regular human beings that come together with their baggage that they've had from a lifetime of living in a sick society. And then, boom, the romantic fantasy that was an illusion in the first place blows up. and we say this is not working, and now all the triggers come in and we separate. Now, what if we actually looked at relating? I don't want to say from a romantic place, but from a hopeful place. And what I mean is the place of saying, I know that relating can be beautiful. And I'm seeing that I have challenges here, and we have challenges here in these arenas. How do we now work on that? So for me, relationships is not a romantic thing. It's a thing of creating the gift of growth encapsulated by kindness, lovingness, friendliness, so that it is safe for us to grow and expand and be willing to look at those things if we're willing to do that. And those that are willing to do that are the ones that have the most beautiful relationships. Next question. How long did it take for you and your partner to realize, wow, this human is special, and I feel really good about moving forward in life with them? This special human is right there, right now. And I think, wow, he's special all the time. And I can't say that there was a specific time that I started and a specific time that I stopped. And this thing of saying I'm moving forward with this person again, this is where romantic ideas come in. This is the kind of romanticizing we need to get rid of. And it's not just about relationships. It's about all areas of our life. You know, we go into a job and we say, wow, this job is special. I'm moving forward with it. And at some point, it might not be the thing for your spirit anymore. Now, if you're stuck with some romantic idea and you function out of making commitments with your mind rather than living in life moment by moment, then you're going to get yourself in a very precarious situation. So saying, wow, this human is special, and I'm moving forward moment by moment with this human, that is what you need to do in all areas of your life. It's just like, if you were to go to a restaurant and they give you delicious food and you go, wow, this meal is delicious. I'm going to come back here tomorrow. And then it happens again and you say, wow, maybe I'm going to come back here again soon. But what if something changes? And now the quality of what you're being provided and given is not so yummy anymore. Move moment by moment in life. And here's why that's also important. You are moving moment by moment in life. Your spirit is expanding and growing moment by moment in life, hopefully. So even if a particular meal, a particular human, a particular job, anything is perfectly in alignment for us in one moment, it might not be in alignment for us anymore in another moment. And not because there's anything wrong with the human and they're any less special. It's because our spirit now is yearning for a different experience. And remember, be of service to your divine spirit, not to anything else. Next question. I like this question. What has been your biggest realization / truth about sex that you've had in your life? My biggest realization or truth about sex is that it has been the greatest weapon by the powers that be to disempower us and to make us sheep. And on the flip side, another realization and truth is that our sex is the greatest weapon against these forces that control everything in this society and this matrix that we call life to this day. And that sex and that love, because they're really one and the same, we don't know about that, but they're one and the same. That sex and love is what's going to bring down all of the lies, all of the deception, and everything that is unlike love. We are divine, loving beings, and we have been tricked otherwise. Start loving, start expressing it, start speaking it, start making love, start being love in all of your expressions. That's how they have crippled you. That's how they continue to cripple you. And when you take back that power, there's nothing that can be done to stop you. That is freedom. I think I'll end right there. It has been a pleasure. Thank you so much for being here with me. Truly, truly am inspired by humanity. And thank you all so much. Please keep loving, keep being kind, and keep questioning everything. If you want a little bit of support and guidance on where to go in your questioning, visit my website. And there will be some events and offerings that I'm going to be sharing online. So you can sign up to the mailing list, my Instagram. I will share it. I love you all very much, truly. You know, I've always been resistant to saying that because I feel like everybody in videos always goes, all right, bye everybody, love you. Truly love humanity. We are incredible, incredible beings. I love you.